Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Tom's right. In the macro sense, the revolution's not going to go backwards. And I truly believe that we will see a free Iran and we will meet in Tehran one day. But I am... Five or six times, the people of Ashraf, the Ashrafis, have been attacked. They were attacked in 2009 and 2011 in Ashraf. They've been attacked multiple times in Liberty, September 1st of last year, and then December 26th of last year. They keep getting attacked. You know who's responsible for those attacks. I know who's responsible for those attacks. Everyone here knows who's responsible for those attacks. The State Department of the United States knows who's responsible for those attacks. The United Nations knows who's responsible for those attacks. But has anything been done to the Maliki government? We keep supporting them. We keep giving them more. Nothing's been done. We keep hearing there'll be an independent investigation by the GOI, the government of Iraq. An independent investigation, that's like asking Al Capone to investigate the St. Valentine's Day murders. They promised us an independent investigation of what happened on September 1st. The independent investigation so far hasn't begun, and all that's happened is the bodies were buried and the evidence was sealed away forever. And we do nothing to... And the United Nations? What would be wrong with calling Liberty what it was supposed to be, a refugee camp? And what would be wrong with putting blue helmets in the refugee camp, armed blue helmets? We do it all over the world. But we won't do it at Ashraf, and we won't do it at Liberty. Shame on the United Nations. The United Nations was supposed to get those 52 bodies, remember? They didn't get them. Are they going to do anything about it? But you know, the United States, excuse me, we deserve the most criticism of all. Because the French didn't promise to protect the Ashrafis. The English didn't promise to protect the Ashrafis. The Spaniards didn't promise to protect the Ashrafis. The Germans didn't promise to protect the Ashrafis. But we did. We gave our word. We gave a contract to each and every member of Camp Ashraf that if they relinquished their weapons, that's the consideration, that's the legal consideration. If they relinquished their weapons, we were going to protect them. They were going to be protected persons under the Geneva Convention. And we did a decent job doing that until 2009. And then we turned that responsibility, as others, over to the Iraqi government. And the Iraqi government has failed time and time again. Not only failed to protect them, they've been the assailants, and we know they've been the assailants, right? They've been the assailants. Well, forget Iran for a moment. Why didn't we crack down on the Iraqi government? Because if we make known that the Iraqi government is doing these things, it's going to make our entire policy of going into Iraq in the first place, of losing over 5,000 American fighting men and fighting women, it's going to make that policy seem like a complete failure. Because what have we wrought? We've wrought Maliki. We've wrought someone who is killing his own people and hasn't lived up to the commitments he made to us. It is time to pass a law suspending arms payments and shipments and money going into the Maliki government until the residents of Ashraf and Liberty are protected to our satisfaction. To our satisfaction. Stop the money going into the Iraqi government. No resolutions, pass a law. A law which would stop the U.S. government, stop us from giving money to Iraq. We got to do that. And we learn in first-year law school, in contracts, I know your lawyers know this, we learned that for a contract to be legal, there has to be some consideration. So when the United States gave each and every one of the residents of Ashraf a piece of paper saying if they surrendered their weapons, they would be under our protection, that they would be protected as people under the Fourth Geneva Convention, protected persons. That was a contractual promise by the United States. And the consideration for it was the giving up the weapons. That was what the citizens, the Ashrafis did in consideration of the promise. It was a deal, it was a bargain. And the United States has never lived up to that bargain. Once 2009 ended, we have turned our back on that contract. We have turned our back on our legal responsibility. Only one thing that's going to change the administration's mind. Congressional act that stops money and arms going into Iraq. That'll get their attention. And I don't say this lightly. Look, I'm a loyal American, and whether it's a Republican or a Democrat president, I generally believe we should support the administration. It's our country. But when our country is wrong, we need to do a course correction. And it's up, and it's up. And it's up to all of us to do a course correction. Thank you all very, very much.